Daniel, nice to see you. Louis from Radio Leeds. If we could start with some team news, in particular, Joe Rodon, Jed Spence, Junior Firth and Stuart Dallas. How are they all getting on?
Yes, Jed Spence is not in team training at the moment. We expect him to be back within the next 7 to 14 days, so he won't be involved in any game before the international break, but we expect him to be back on the other side of the international break. Junior Firpo, after his long-term injury, yes, he's in team training since 10 days. Meanwhile, I think this week was and is also good for him because it's the first proper training week. Before it was just traveling and playing games is also difficult, and for a player who comes back from a long-term injury. But each and every session is good for him, and he's edging closer and closer, and no setback in the last day. So definitely good news, and he's also in the mix and also available if we call him up for the game day squad already before the international break. Yes, we will see, but he is definitely progress with him, and he's on the right path. Yes, there were a few players with a few concerns. Joe Rodon, Sam Byram, and also Chris Somerville. After the last game, I substitute all three of them. We had to take care of them yesterday, so they were just involved in parts of the team training, but were able to train today the full session with the team. So if there is no reaction, they are all three available and back. Definitely good news. Sadly, some bad news with Joe Gellhardt. He has a hand fracture yesterday in training, and we wait for some further assessment. He will definitely miss out at least a couple of weeks, so we need for further assessment. If he perhaps even needs a surgery, that would rule him out for even longer. But this will happen in the next days, and he's definitely not the topic for this game.
Great. On the first half against Huddersfield, you mentioned some of the players you took off in that second half. Just how useful was that for you, Daniel, being able to withdraw those players maybe a little earlier than you normally would have?
It was necessary due to some problems. Sam was complaining about some problems with his hamstring. Chris Somerville, we spoke about since a few weeks. He's struggling, and also at halftime we reported an awareness again with his body, and he was quite confident he could go further on for perhaps 10-15 minutes, but not longer. And also Joe Rodon, yes, after lots of load, also with the national team. With some problems in his hamstring, it was necessary. It was not like I was too concerned about their load, because we had right now a normal week. It was necessary, and yes, for that we had to make this decision. And thank God there was a bit more time right now for recovery. And yes, I hope that all three of them will be available.
Another player I'd like to ask about is Glenn Kamara, arguably one of the strongest performances on Saturday. Tell us about his influence on the pitch, but also off the pitch training.
Yes, I think in general we have a really young squad and many young players. When you have a look at our average age in the starting lineup, it's important also to have some experienced players. And Glenn, we don't have to speak about his CV. He has played for a big club with Rangers, with always lots of pressure to win more or less each and every game in their league. He's a proven Finland international with more than 50 caps already. So he was involved in many battles on the pitch. It was difficult for him in the start because he had no proper preseason and not really games, and also the second half of the last season he was not that much involved. But each every training session on the pitch with us is helpful, and he's on a good path. So I think there's still more to come, and he needs a bit of time till he's there with 100%. But I agree. So I think it was probably his most complex performance, and he's definitely a player who gives us lots of quality on the ball in his decision making, which pass to make. He can dictate also the rhythm of the game. I think he still needs to sharpen a bit up in a physical way, because due to his lack of game time in the last months. But the more he plays and the more he's involved, I think the better also his physical endurance and stability will be. And he's definitely on a good path. And further on, he's a top teammate, a top lad, pretty much involved in each and every joke that the lads have in the dressing room. So he's a great guy to have around, and we're all happy that we have him.
I guess for you as a manager, when you've got someone like an Archie Gray coming into the side in the same or similar position, Glenn's experience must be so useful for you to utilise as well.
Yes, absolutely. Because we have in this positions, especially in the heart of the game, you also need some experience, and we have a very young lad with Archie Gray, also Jamie Shackleton, who can play the situation still in a young age. We have Darko Gyabi, also more or less a teenager. We've got Ethan Ampadu, so outstanding so far this season, but we must not forget how young he still and actually is. Ilya Gruev, also proven Bundesliga and also Bulgarian international, but still at a young age, and it's good to have a really experienced guy like Glenn Kamara around, and he's good for the group, and we're all happy that we have him.
Other than the performance and the result on Saturday, I think a lot of the fans enjoyed seeing Crescenzio Somerville and Willie Gnonto celebrate together the way they did. What did you make to that, Daniel?
Yes, I'm from a different generation. So after my when I scored goals, I was a striker as well. I was more or less celebrating together with my teammates. And nowadays, the guys like to dance a bit around. So in our generation was more in the evening after the game. We were sometimes dancing. But this has changed a lot. And right now they dance on the football pitch. I'm a bit old-fashioned. I wouldn't dance around. But if you're that capable and have so much skills, and it's definitely allowed. It was also good fun, and yes. So if they deliver such performances and also put such a shift and show some workload like this, and you can also dance around a bit. But the most important topic is still that you have the right moves in the football boots, and that's even more important than the dancing shoes. But if they deliver such a hard work, then they're also allowed to celebrate a bit.
I guess on the serious side of that, it feels like such a close-knit group. How important is that to you when it does translate onto the...
That's very important, especially also the players who are perhaps not always in the starting lineup. In this game, I'm quite sure that also Willie Gnonto would have liked to start the game and to be involved also in the first half, but then that he's then willing to celebrate with the team, and you also got the feeling, so when we celebrate goals, the whole bench is buzzing, or when we scored a late winner or a late equalizer, then the whole bench is more or less the first guy who is celebrating with the guy who scores the goal. So this says a lot about the feeling and the team spirit, that we are all more thinking about us as a group, about this club, and about us as a team, and not too much about individual success or individual statistics. So it's all about the team, and this is also the spirit that we try to bring into this group, and the lads respond in a perfect way. And yes, long may it continue, because I've also worked in different dressing rooms, so this unity and togetherness and the spirit is really something really special, and it's still growing at the moment from day to day, and yes, hopefully we can go on the spirits.
Just a couple of questions on Leicester. An amazing start to life back in the Championship, as you're well aware of. Why is it, in your opinion, so many teams have found it difficult to cope with Leicester so far this season?
Yes, first of all, you have to say they deserve, with this point tally after 14 games, to be there in this position. I think it's remarkable, and you just can give them credit and applause, and they deserve all the praise. I think it's a fantastic side. Many reasons, many top players, many players who have played on Premier League level. Also, lots of stability in the club. Although obviously there was this disappointment of relegation, but you got the feeling so quite quick they went back to work and kept the key players together and found a really good group, good balance within, lots of quality players, a quality coach. Yes, a really well run club, and all in all, this leads into a picture where they are at the moment one of the best, if not the best start in the history of the Championship, and the point tally is remarkable. But yes, we are full of respect. We will travel full of respect, and we know that we have to be there with at our best and with a top class performance to earn the right to win some points. But we won't travel in fear. So we will travel with respect, but not in fear. Wherever we go, we are Leeds United, and we want to win points.
albeit only 14 games in, but there is that gap starting to form between the top 2 and the rest of the top 6. Are you looking at this game already as a must-win if you are to catch Leicester Ham?
No, not at all. It's a great game because it's a game between two big clubs, also with a big tradition, also two clubs who have played recently on a Premier League level, 2 clubs who have had a really good start. Obviously, Leicester even better than us, but we are also there with 4 wins in the last 5 games, sitting on position 3 with a good point tally, with a good goal difference. Leicester even better. So 2 quality sides. It's a great game, spotlight game Friday evening. Floodlight is on. It's a great game to be involved, and both teams want to win points, and it's always great because you don't want to have games where it's more or less like an easy win and no question who wins a game. It's more or less you want to have this battles and this type of games and this quality games, and I think everyone who likes the championship and likes football is looking forward to this game. And obviously both sides want to win points, but it's far away from being a final. So this would be perhaps a final if it's after whatever, if it's a 45th game day and you have to win in order to promote, or you have to make sure that you win to have further on a chance to promote, but not the 15th game day. Just another opportunity to win points. And if whatever happens in the scheme, both teams and both clubs have everything in their own hand. So when you speak about, for example, direct promotion, it's always the same. You need, after 46 games, 26 wins, 12 draws, then you are there with 90 points and you will promote. It's as simple as that. And whatever the outcome is, both teams are capable to do this after this game. Obviously, when you add some points in this game, it's even a bit easier to be there with this outcome. But it's always the same. So you still have everything in your own hands. And if you want to qualify for the playoffs, probably it's also enough to be there with 20 wins, and that's even more possible also after this game. So at the moment we don't have to speak about what happens after 46 games or promotion or direct promotion or playoffs. It's more like, no, concentrate on good performances, concentrate on why we grow up and played football. Yeah, we want to win with our mates against the other mates anyhow, and want to win a football game and let the table take care for itself. And then after 46 games, you have to have a look on the table and you have to look where you are, and but not after 14 or 15 games. At the moment, it's just more like, come on, we want to deliver performances, want to earn as many points as possible, and point gaps to any other opponent is at the moment not important. The only thing that matters is, try to be there with the best possible point tally at the moment, and in the end we will see the outcome.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Birthday, Daniel.
Thank you.
You've been very effective this season on scoring goals on the counter-attack. Would there ever be a scenario where you would tell your team that you were going to let the opposition dominate possession and you were going to focus on countering, or would that send the wrong message to your players?
No, our approach will never be that we just park the bus and put the ball on the stand or over the stand and try to be there with perhaps a counter-attack over 90 yards, or sometimes with a 3 times deflected strike, a bit lucky, and hope for a mistake of the opponent's goalkeeper. No, we want to attack the games and want to be the protagonist, and this will be always our approach. We are Leeds United, and we want to be the protagonist on the pitch wherever we go and wherever we play. And obviously, it's still important to be good on the counter-attack, because you have to be good in all periods and all phases of the game. And if you want to be successful against a top side like Leeds, you also have to expect that they will have also lots of possession, and you have to be rock solid in your structure, and then you also need to use counter-attacks. When I, for example, think about the last game against Huddersfield, we dominated this game, especially in the second half. I think it was 80% possession. You literally can't have more possession than we had, but we're capable to create chances out of each and every possible situation in the game. We were good on the counter-attack, we were good out of the build-up, we created chances through the center, over the wings. We want to use more or less each and every tool to create chances and also to score goals. And one of our strengths is definitely also like to be there with quick counterattacks, but not just always after a winning of the ball in our own box and then with a 100-yard or 80-yard counter. We were also quite strong when we had winnings of the ball in the opponent's half and then a quick counter attack, a short counter attack. This is definitely also something what we want to use, but it will be definitely, if you ask about this, definitely also important to be rock solid and with a good structure in terms of defending and also to use our winnings of the ball. It's definitely allowed also to use counterattacks, and we want to use this in each every game. Yes, and also in a game against Leicester City, definitely.
Because they want to be protagonists as well, and they, like you, they dominate possession. So what is the biggest key to winning the arm wrestle, I suppose, when it comes to possession?
Bravery. It's also important that you are also brave enough to press the opponent and not to be too impressed of them. But it's also not that we want to win the possession statistics. So it's the same for them. So obviously it should help. We're not playing with so much possession just to win this statistic. It always has to benefit us and to lead us, because we think it's the best way in order to give yourself a chance to win the game. Because as long as you have the ball, the opponent can't score. And as long as you have the ball, you exhaust the opponent because they have to shift. And no one likes to play football just to shift around and to run after the ball. Everyone started to play football because you want to have the ball. I think if you're not there with stupid own goals, then when you have the ball, the opponent can't score. So it helps you to increase your chances to win the game. But it's also important not to lose the focus that the most important topic is that you want to win the football game. And there will be on such a level or also periods where you find it difficult to press the opponent, you find it difficult to stay in possession, and you have to be there with a good, well-structured defending. It's always the same, and it's, if I'm honest, in each every game, the topic that you need periods when you have to defend really rock solid. And in this game, even more, there will be also periods when you need to suffer a bit, and you show the great heart and the great will also to suffer. And to accept also that the opponent is also strong and will have many periods of possession, but then to make the most out of your possession is also quite crucial. And there's never a guarantee that you will dominate the game like we did, for example, against our last opponent in the second half. But I think one key is definitely to be there with as much possession as possible in this game. Yes.
Friday night coincides with the under-21s game. I wonder if that might have disrupted any plans to let Charlie Creswell have some minutes with the 21s. Will he have to be with you?
Yes. So in general, so once we have a bit tricky schedule and you don't know we play all 3 days, then we are also careful to send too many players into the under 21, because we had already a few players involved with Matteo Joseph. He needs desperately game time after his long-term injury, or also Darko Gyabi, or also some other guys. So we make a decision from day to day. So for that, during a busy schedule, I think it's important, especially with players who are likely to be involved also in the first team games, to be a bit more careful to give them game time in the under 21. I think we have to make some pragmatical decisions once we are there in such a busy schedule.
Sheffield Wednesday are the latest club to have off-field difficulties with ownership. As a manager, what kind of a difference to your job does it make to have a settled structure and a club where nothing dramatic is going?
Well, it's always important, I think, that you are in the driving seat as a club, and you are in control over the contracts and over everything, because no one is bigger than the club, not one player, even the biggest star player. And yes, obviously we have also great players and want to keep all the players. It's always important that you are in control over the contracts, who stays, who will leave, and this is quite crucial, and stability, and also that everyone, more or less like from the top to the bottom of the club, has the same values and also the same philosophy, how we want to work, with which values we want to work, and also how we want to play. And if you have this consistency and stability, it's always easier to be successful. But yes, it's professional football, and sometimes there are also the wind is a bit in your face, and sometimes it's also a bit tricky, because when a new manager arrives, or there are some things ongoing in the background, and you still have then to give some stability to the club and lead the club also through some bit stormy times. So sometimes you can't choose, and then it's also important not to feel too sorry for yourself, more like to work step to step to achieve the stability. And my feeling is, for example, that we are on a really, really good path at the moment, also where we are heading with the club, and also that everyone is really on the same page. We are not still the finished product, but I think our process at the moment is quite good. But till we can be really, really happy with ourselves and proud of ourselves and think, okay, we are in a really good position. Lots of work behind the scenes, but also in many, many topics is needed. So there are still many, many areas where we want and need to improve as a club. But my feeling is also that we are definitely on the right path. Thank you very much. Good.